What's up? This is Rebel Radio.
What up? What up? This is DJ Newmark.
This is Peanut Butter Wolf.
It's your boy. It's okay.
Keep checking out Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio.
This is Rebel Radio.
We're in the place right here. Rebel Radio is going down.
Would you say Rebel Radio?
Oh, wait. Let's do it again.
Rebel Radio.
Hey, what's up, Rebels? Welcome back to Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Josh Levine. My guest today is ANML. She's a great recording artist. I like her music. I like her whole vibe. She just put out a new EP called Release with the lead single, It's Over. If you check out the video for that, it's pretty provocative. I think you'll like that one. Check it out on YouTube. She's got some great stories to tell. She kind of takes us through how she went through some major pivots in even early on at this point in her career through a name change. She changed up her musical style. She's got some good lessons for all of us in the art of the pivot. And also she talks a lot about when she's been too hard on herself, when that's worked for her and when it doesn't work, and how she's kind of learned to be patient sometimes and not patient at other times. There's really good stuff in this interview. I hope you'll enjoy it. Before we get into that, let's hear the EDM.com track of the week. Yo, that was Dream Party with Body Talk, our EDM.com track of the week. And now let's get into the interview with ANML. Well, that's what we came here to talk about.
Obviously.
Politics and sports.
Yep.
For sure.
It's bound to happen.
I want to talk about you.
Awesome.
I'm fascinated by the little that I've learned thanks to your amazing publicist. Who are lifelong friends of ours. Jen and I go way back, and Julia as well. They just showed me your stuff, and I loved it. And my wife loved it. We were watching last night.
Oh, thank you.
All that, yeah.
Did your wife get a glimpse of, I'm curious if you guys saw the new video.
Yeah.
Unreleased video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, really
I'm curious
cool.
about, it's like women seem to
And that's I'm sorry, tell me the song.
It's Over.
Okay.
And that's the single that's coming out. Yeah.
Nice.
It was called The Last Fucking Time, because that's the hook, but apparently radio wouldn't go for that.
Yeah,
so.
it's, sure.
No,
It's Over works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No,
That's
it's
great
cool.
that you
It's
guys watched
powerful stuff.
Thanks.
So I want to learn all about you and
Okay.
And how you're doing it. What was the first record you ever bought?
Holy shit. And by record, do you mean record?
Piece of music.
Okay.
I guess sheet music
Purchased.
if you wanted to include that.
No, I thought when you say record,
No, I know. Yeah, it doesn't have to be vinyl.
that I bought with my own money. Holy crap.
Or but that you went to, it wasn't like the Sesame Street records that showed up in your house.
I didn't have money yet then.
Okay. No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. It might have been Queen.
Okay.
It may have been Queen.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Which one?
Wow. I want to say the best of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, that makes me want to look back in my catalog.
I have a Killer Queen.
It might have been that. Yeah.
45 that I bought. One time I got money. I think must have been birthday money. I had $40, which was a huge amount of money for me. And I got to remember how old I was, and I had my dad take me to the store, and I bought 47 inches.
Whoa, you could do that with $40.
Yeah,
huh?
back
Damn.
then. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, so do you remember falling in love with music for the first time?
I love your questions already. Wow, falling in love with music for the first time.
Or let me ask you this way:
What
was your
wow, that's
what was
profound.
what was your music when you sort of discovered the sound that really spoke to you?
Because that's really different, right?
Yeah.
Because discovering music, that's a whole world. Discovering music for me, there's a whole story about that. I mean, it was always in my life. My parents put me in classes and stuff like that, but it wasn't really the thing. It didn't really click yet until actually it was not long ago. It was a little bit later for me, I guess.
Really?
But I do remember I was like traveling the world, and I was in Australia, and I had given up acting, which was my thing, theater. I was really good at it at the time. I'm not anymore. I gave it up, and I was like in the void of like, what am I here? What's my why am I here? What's my purpose? And that's a hard place to be, So it was very hard for me for a couple of years there, just like figuring out. I remember I was like upset about something, and that's usually where I write my music from now. But
Sure.
I was upset about something. I was like jumping on someone's bed. I was traveling, Australia, and I started to yodel. And the sound, and I don't know if how much you've heard, but I kind of do have this like weird yodel
Only
thing sometimes.
Forget what that movie was that I think everyone saw when we were kids. Was it Sound of Music? Is there yodeling in Sound of Music?
I think that's legit yodeling. That's like the real deal.
Okay.
I'm talking about like Alanis Morissette, little like.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just started to come out, and I was
guess
like,
that's
whoa.
legit too.
Yeah, I mean that was my moment of like, oh, there's something. I've got something going on in here, something a little interesting. But I didn't really start pursuing it until someone gave me a mixtape and I started singing to it. But I think that moment, jumping on the bed, yodeling.
Nice.
I was like, this is something inside of me.
And then do you remember the first time you performed in front of people?
As a musician?
Like on stage? Yeah,
as a musician, yes, I do. I really do. It was, I'm from Toronto, Canada, and it was in this bar, I don't think it exists anymore, called Clinton's.
Okay.
My friend was putting on a show. I remember exactly what I was wearing. And I had this thing, like the nervous thing. I think everyone has their thing. But mine was this. Was the arm sway the whole time, just like straight ahead arm sway.
Yeah, that's good showmanship.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad I broke that one. Yeah, that's what videos are.
How'd the show go?
I probably thought it was all right then.
Yeah.
I don't know about if I saw it now.
you walked off stage feeling pretty good about it, and you're like,
I don't know. I'm pretty hard on myself. I can't imagine that was different back then. But I go hard on things. I'm definitely not like, oh, I'm just going to do this like, casually. I'm sure I worked really hard for that show, and I probably did my best to put on a good show.
And then was there a moment when you decided or realized that this would be your career?
I mean, I think that moving to California was a big move in that direction, to make that decision to be a little bit deeper in the industry. So I would say that, that was like 7-8 years ago now that I made that decision.
Yeah.
But making the decision to pursue music is different from music allowing you to pursue it as a profession, because that takes a long time.
So what was the thing, like when was the moment when you realized that you could do this for a living?
That was recent. I mean, because that's like
being on this show probably is.
right here, right now. Yeah. I made it.
That's usually the response, I guess.
This is like the cherry on top. Right. Yeah. It's like a signpost. No, all these things are signposts. Like, you're on your way.
It's a good metaphor.
Yeah. So
what was that first one, or when you like?
I mean, again, I'm very hard on myself, so it took like a few. Basically, licensing has been really good for me. So that means my show, my music has been in TV shows and trailers and stuff, and I think it took like a handful of them before I was like, oh, I guess this is happening. Yeah. Oh, okay, I guess I'm paying my bills now. I'm paying my rent for music? Really? Okay. But I still, every day I'm still like, when's the next, gig gonna come? So it's like, I don't know if is there that moment? Well, probably for like Beyonce. But, is there that moment where you're like, I made it and I'm comfortable and there we are. Like, for me, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
It's a constant striving.
Yeah, I think there's levels. I was listening to an interview with Eddie Wong, that the actor, chef, vice personality, and he was like basically saying kind of the same thing, that like you make it to a certain level, and then there's certain things that can't affect you or can't like hold you back in the same way as they used to, but then there's a bunch of new stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. I was listening to a podcast about that recently.
Yeah.
It's called, the name of the podcast, I never remember this, but it was so striking. Problems Are Forever.
Oh, that's good.
It was good. And it was just
very
about
uplifting.
That. Well, it was. And she talks about that. She's actually a coach, and it helped a lot. Because it's like, in my head, I'm like, oh, there will be this time where I won't worry about, things or these things, which is true. I won't worry about these things,
Right.
but probably my
Something
problems
else.
will get bigger, So it's really not about like trying to get away from them. It's about trying to come to a place of understanding how to work with them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now. Instead of being like, contracts and business and payouts and accounting and all this shit that it takes to be a professional musician, which is like 95% of the work, 5% creativity.
Yeah.
At this point for me anyway. It's like, okay, now I just need to buckle down and actually find a way to make this interesting and fun.
Yeah.
And see.
Julia's cousin was on the show. Aaron Axelrod.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic artist, super talented. And he said something that exactly that he said, I spend 90% of my time doing the business so that I get to spend 10% of my time making art.
Yeah.
And without that 90%, the other 10 isn't going to happen.
Yeah. I'm trying to balance things out now. Because then also the question for me is like, what's life for? Yeah. And for me, life is for art. That's where I feel alive. And so if I feel such an immense imbalance in those two percentages, which I have until recently realizing that, I'm like, well, you know what? Like, what is the point? Yeah. So I'm really working hard to like try and balance that out. Even if that means that I'm not doing some of the things that I should in regards to the business. Like, I just hope that my team will pick up the pieces, and let me write more music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do. I'm
That's
way
great.
better at that anyway.
Yeah?
Like, way better. Yeah. So.
I mean, I think that's part of the challenge, right? Is you have to be able to hand things off.
Yeah.
And sometimes just allow them not to get done.
That too.
Yeah.
It's not all going to get done.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a big one. So you mentioned licensing, and it looks like you have a lot that's worked really well for you.
It's been nice.
How does that happen? If I'm a musician, and like every musician I know wants to license out their music.
Of course, yeah.
And you seem to do better at it than a lot of people I see. Why is that?
I do have a lot of friend musicians reach out to me about this and asking the same question, and I would really like to help with that. But gosh, it's like I can only say that, well, the way I just met this woman at a party. So I went out one night and when I lived in the Bay Area, like I just was comfortable. I didn't go out that much, It's like I know what's going on. But I went out that night and I met her, sent her my stuff, and she just happened to really love it. And
she's a music supervisor? Or she's
a music supervisor.
agent?
She runs the licensing company that I'm now a part of. So, I mean, I would say to artists that strive to, like get into licensing, I mean, unless you end up in a situation like that, or you're in LA and these people are just everywhere, it's like cold calling, sending emails, sending your stuff. But there's just so many people doing that. So the truth is, and this, I don't know how to say this to my friends who reach out to me. I'm like, look, like, I always knew it wasn't intentional. Like, I wrote music that I just knew was like gonna be soundtrack, not on purpose. I wasn't like, I'm gonna write this for that. It's just like, that's just the way I hear music. It's like huge strings and huge brass and big drums, and it's like, so when that happened for me, sort of on coincidence, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, and it's also about time because I've been working really hard. But I wasn't doing the cold calling. I've done a lot of cold calling for other things, but that one was just like, boom, destiny. So yeah, I mean, it's just like, write good music.
Was there like one sync that then like changed the game that makes it easier to get the next one, or?
I think that it snowballs like that for sure, because then they're like, oh, so-and-so, da-da-da.
So which one what was it for you?
Well, I'll say what the first one, I'm pretty sure it was the first one, which was actually Vice World of Sports. I think they used one of my songs for a trailer, which was so cool for me. And my licensing company is so good to me. Love you. Because she knows that I'm very political. She knows that I'm an activist. So she's never come to me and been like, hey, like, can we use this for McDonald's? Because she knows that, A, I would say no, and B, I'd be probably pissed off about it. I'm like, really? So she's actually done really great for me. So, when I saw that it was Vice that picked me up, I was like, hell yes, I love what they do. They're so cool. They're covering really great ground. They're activists for sure. So that was great. That was the first one. I think that really helped, snowball. And then I think the one that had like maybe more views and like really bumped up my like viewership was the show, which I don't actually watch TV, so I had to like find the show to watch it.
Yeah.
And I did get hooked after, but the show Lucifer.
I never heard of it.
So yeah, it's on Fox, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and that did really well. I don't know analytics or anything like that, but my manager was like, "Wait a second." He's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good thing." So
Nice.
that was good. That was a good thing, and
Yeah.
also a very fun show to watch. So it was cool, and it was really cool too because, it's on Fox. It's a mainstream television show.
Mhm.
It's about loose. You can imagine what that's about.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's fun.
So how do you think about, you mentioned McDonald's. And by the way, I ordered in McDonald's for us, so
perfect.
they'll be here in
Yeah,
just a
great.
minute.
Yeah. I'll be ready with my picket line.
And then you mentioned a show like Lucifer, right? And so how do you draw those lines of what's okay to align your brand and your art with?
Well, that's where I was on my way to saying
all right.
was the cool thing is with a show like that, that because it is so mainstream and my music, that album that did really well for my last album, We Animals, that whole album was about the state of the world, the interconnectedness of all life, equality of all life, animals, obviously, environmentalism. I write in a very like, I would say, sort of dark poetic way. So upon listening, if you just heard the song on the radio, you wouldn't know for sure that it's what it's about, but that's what it's all about. And so to have these songs with this content on these huge shows, I mean, the moment in Lucifer, that show, was this woman where they're in bed and she turns, she's about to stab this guy. I mean, it's just epic. And that song is about, I'm apologizing to the earth for what we've done.
Sure.
And I'm asking for like forgiveness and like, what can we do? And of course that they don't know that, but I'm like, wow, this is fucking like, this, for me, that's activism.
Yeah.
If you can like hit the masses like that.
So if I were being difficult, which I never am,
I believe it.
I would say, okay, but why not spread that message even on a bigger stage, like a McDonald's commercial, right? That here's the biggest brand in the world. That's
Wow, big one. If I got an offer like that for like $100 million, we probably would need to have a serious debate about it. It probably wouldn't be smart of me to just turn it down because you're right. There might be something there, right? There might be something way bigger than the commercial. There might be, and then I'll have all this money to do something way bigger. Or also, and then like I'll have this other release coincide with it that.
You could buy a McDonald's franchise and burn it down.
Or make it
in
vegan.
effigy. Yeah.
The vegan
I don't
McDonald's.
think you're allowed to do that.
No, probably
I think
sure
that's
not.
a violation.
No,
of the
absolutely
franchise
it is.
agreement.
Not going to work. Yeah, but you're right. There is
No,
that.
Instant.
There is that. So, yeah.
I'm just wondering how you think about that stuff because obviously you have a very strong point of view as an artist, and my experience as someone and around people who care about their world and the art and the companies that we support, like my experience is that it's a really complicated issue. That it's not like, there's this guy in my neighborhood who has a store and he's an asshole, so I'm not going to shop at his store.
Sure.
Right? Or it's like everything is sourced from somewhere that we don't know exactly what's going on and the environmental impact. And some things are really obvious. And if you object to, killing animals for meat, then probably McDonald's isn't a good fit, right? But then you're trading off money and opportunity and reach and all kind of other stuff.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Sure.
And I hope that I'm blessed enough to have to cross that bridge.
Absolutely.
That's, would be an honor.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. What about, so you changed your name, and I want to understand why and how and what's that. And, I think I saw a little bit of the old stuff. There's just one of you playing an acoustic.
Ooh, long
set.
time ago.
Yeah. And
I'm like, where'd you find that?
I have my source.
The interwebs.
Yeah. But it seemed like a different artist project. Is that accurate, or was it Tell me about the decision to become Animal and how that's worked.
Well, there were a few reasons. The first reason was actually sort of political in a way as well. My birth name is Lila Rose, and so, but my main like competitor on Google was the other Lila Rose, who is a very, very famous, very religious.
I don't know who that is.
Anti-abortion activist.
Oh, nice.
So she dominated Google.
Yeah.
You know, I made my way like third down, but there was confusion there. So people would go to my videos. I would read the comment. My manager would be like, "Oh God," read the comments like, "We love your music, but your political stance." I'm like, "No, it's not me. Really opposite perspectives there." So that was definitely like a constant issue. Like, how do we divide that? Because she really is very, very popular, unfortunately. So that was a thing. But also, like, my birth name is really pretty and flowery, and my music is really sort of more dark and like anthemic, and so it just always felt like not quite the right fit for what it is that I'm creating. So I did make the change. I wonder if it's been a year yet. Maybe just a year. And there was, so in terms of the old sound, I mean, I don't know where you found that.
It's on YouTube somewhere.
Okay, hopefully not on my channel. I'll have to make sure that gets done. But yeah, I mean, that was probably like the beginnings. That was probably like the beginning of my exploration, because that's all I had. I had a loop pedal, I had a guitar, I had a good piano, whatever I just had access to.
Sure.
And then gaining tools, like now I produce for myself, so I'm in front of my computer a lot and doing that kind of stuff. So engineering and but I did decide to move the name Animal and actually change my last two records, Heart Machine and We Animals. So I did go retroactively and change the name and change the covers and all the art and everything because of the licensing.
Right.
So people are looking for me. They're like, oh, it's, put it together.
Find all one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, one of your assets that you create as an artist is your social following. Right, and people get attached to a specific name or whatever. Right. And so how much was that a concern about, like, walking away from, a name that some people knew and were attached to, and like, was there a strategy for how to, like, bring people along?
Yes, there was a strategy, not mine. My manager's pretty good with that, and he was great at holding my hand through that. There was nervousness around all that, but it was the time. That was the time, because we were seeing all the numbers rise with all the, especially after Lucifer. We were like, oh my God. I think it must have been like right after Lucifer that we really just did it. So it was like either now, and it's going to be a little awkward for some people, like whatever, a few thousand or whatever, or later. Right. And then hopefully it'll be more people. So we made that decision. The other decision I should add is that I would say the more personal reason for the name change, all that stuff was like important, and also I really didn't want to be associated with the other Lila Rose in that way. Although I'd love to meet her one day.
You guys could
have a chat. I've written scripts. I have written scripts for, like, I wanted to
have like a celebrity death match.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Wrestle. Yeah. No, I'd like to actually
wrestle for charity.
Conversation. Oh, absolutely. Kick her ass. But anyway, Animal also, like, just being such a huge advocate of equality of all, of all life. I mean, the earth, all animals, all humans. I'm taking it to the maximum equality level. To me, remembering that we're animals is the one thing that ties us together, regardless of race or gender, ethnicity, religion. It's that one thing that bonds us, I think. And so, and I am obviously a huge animal lover, so I just, for me to...
Do you have pets?
I do.
What do you have?
I have a cat, and I have rescue chickens. They're all rescues, but chickens. Actually, one of my chickens is homesick.
Here in LA?
Yeah. I got to go deal with that after this.
My wife wants chickens, but she wants every animal.
Oh, me too.
We have so many animals. It's not fun.
We need to talk about this after the show.
It's not fun.
All about it.
It's not fun at all.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I love animals. I don't feel the need to have them as roommates.
That's a good way of putting it.
They're generally not great roommates for the most
part. They're not. I mean, they bring a lot of love, but they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'd love to have them visit. So you've talked about your message a little bit, and I read online that the message is kind of central to your music. So how do you describe that? What's the pithy way of
Describing the message.
describing the message? Yeah.
I mean, of the music itself, or like what I represent with my name and like who I am.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Well, because the last record, We Animals, actually I wrote that record before I changed my name. So it was, like I said, you know, it's about the interconnectedness of all life and earth and animals and the whole thing in a really, you know, not corny way. Because that could sound corny. It's about loving everyone.
Sure.
But it is in a way. So that's what that was about.
I mean, it's funny you say that because, you know, some of your music's pretty dark.
Yeah.
And, you know, It's Over definitely tackles, I think, some heavy themes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So in terms of like was theme, So It's Over is part of the coming EP, or maybe it'll be out by the time this is out. So it's different thematically. It was more of like We Animals was the thing I always wanted to write, and I didn't know how because it's hard to tackle that subject matter. Mm-hmm. And then I found a way to like wear it all the time with my name. I was like, oh, that's it. Like I am animal. Like all the time, ask me what it means. Let's talk about it. But my music will be whatever it is that I'm going through. And so this EP that's coming on, that single, I mean, I was going through some shit, you know? I was like getting out of a, you know, abusive relationship. And it was hard. And I don't really write about that stuff normally, but that's what was real for me. And I needed to get it out. And I did. And coincidentally, it sounds like the most like poppy thing that I've ever written. And I was like, oops, I guess I kind of wrote a pop song. It totally unintentionally. It was just came out like that. And also this EP, these coming songs, like I was doing a lot of the production on my own instead of like relying on other people. And so because of that, I'm not that advanced in my production skills with the programs that I'm using. So they are a little bit more like stripped down and simple. And it turns out that, you know, sometimes pop music is like that. So it might have a little bit more of an accessibility to the songs and also the themes because that's just what was up for me. But there's still, you know, no matter what, my music will always have some sort of like political aspect to it. I just can't get away from it. So It's Over. It's like I'm you know, it could be like almost like a protest song in a way. It's like don't like get out. Get yourself out if you're in something that I mean, I'm such a hypocrite. But, you know, I wrote it to help myself, you know, be the theme
You say
song.
hypocrite like that's a bad thing.
In this case, it might be.
I just think, well, I don't know. I don't want to speak for you, but I think I think hypocrisy is part of life.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. It makes me feel better.
No, I mean...
takes time.
Well, you mentioned being hard on yourself, and I think that's like, you know, we love to complain about the hypocrisy in ourselves and others, right? And if you're inclined to be hard on yourself, you're going to turn that inwardly. If you're having a righteous moment, you're going to be mad at everyone else as hypocrites. And I think like that's just part of life. That you know, it's so much easier to think and say certain things than it is to live by those all the time.
True.
And those mistakes or those slip-ups is just part of being human.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel a lot better.
All right. That's my Levine philosophy.
The Levine philosophy.
Something or other.
Some LP. No, I do appreciate that.
Why are you so hard on yourself?
Probably my dad's fault. I love him, but fuck. I mean, really, are you asking that question?
Well, I am.
That is true. My answer is true. He was hard on me.
Okay, you called yourself there's a word here.
So curious.
Terribly impatient machine.
Ooh, where did I write that?
I don't know.
Oh, you were on my
Yeah, I do
Facebook
stuff.
or something. Oh, maybe it's anyway. It doesn't matter.
Sometimes I
social
read
media.
shit.
I was like, wow, that's true.
That's my new thing.
I am
reading.
terribly impatient. It's a great thing to do. I hear it's fascinating.
Why? Tell me why that's a good thing to be and a bad thing to be.
Okay. good thing to be terribly impatient? Thank you for asking that question because I don't see it as a good thing. Again, probably because I'm hard on myself. But anyway, why is it a good thing? It's a good thing. I get things done. I do get things done. I mean, I'm a hard worker. I'm persistent. I will do things that are incredibly uncomfortable to get the things done that I want to and create the vision that I see.
What's an example?
Like from a fun, creative perspective, because some of that's not fun, what I just said, but like some of the fun things is looks fun after, but uncomfortable. Like, some of the photo shoots, the things that I see in my head, I'm like, oh man, really? Like my last album cover, like I was holding a gun to my head, and it's like, oh, am I going to put this out? Because that's going to freak some people out, for sure. So I did end up, I don't know if you've seen it, but I did end up making it very dark so that people wouldn't just see it at first. But now, as I've aged a little bit, I'm like, I wish I would have just made that more obvious. Because people are like, oh, there's a gun there?
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, there's a gun there. And now I'm stand stronger in my strain, the things that I want to say. So like that.
Plus you could get like an NRA sponsorship.
And that'd
be awesome.
Too, right?
Yeah.
Money. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know about that. So things like that. Things that are.
I don't like any of my ideas.
I love all of them.
McDonald's, NRA. These are my suggestions for you. This is
it's where the money's
advice.
at, right? So I might
should
have to
stop
consider these things. So doing the things that are uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. The reason impatience is bad is I rush into things sometimes, and then it's like life passes me by. It's like, where was I? Like I was trying to get all these things done. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get here? Where was I when I was doing all these things, trying to get all these things done? And was I enjoying myself? So these are the questions that I've been asking myself. And I think that's why I'm making big life changes, moved to LA, and which is very recent. So yeah, I'm glad that I have an opportunity to see myself enough now, early on enough, because this industry is brutal. I mean, it kills people. It just does. You just can be driven to insanity because you work so hard, because you strive, because you're probably a complex person if you're making like art if you're trying to make that your career, in the first place is a crazy thing to do. So the impatience, is really uncomfortable and it doesn't work anyway. Like, what's the point? I could be like, oh, I want to be so much farther along, but I'm not. So I might as well sit back and enjoy where I am. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting, I think successful people generally want to be more laid back about it.
Right, probably, right?
But I don't know that you get successful that way.
But then if you want to take that a step further, are those successful people happy? And then the final question is all this for happiness?
Right.
So, and if so, you'd think so, because fame, a lot of people strive for fame, popularity, all that kind of stuff. A lot of famous people aren't happy.
Right.
So, I think it's important to ask these questions.
Happiness. I've always found happiness a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Because it's so vague.
True.
So I think it was Tony Robbins that I listened to years ago, who was like, people want happiness. And I tell them, close your eyes and think of, the happiest moment that you can remember. And they do. And he goes, okay, now you're happy. Now what? Like, you're happy in that moment. Now what? I may have made all that up about Tony Robbins. I don't know if that was right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. Right, and so I'm anti-happiness, basically. No, I think
what a statement.
Well, I'm joking, but I think we use that as a substitute for digging deeper into, well, what are the things that make us happy, or I'll be happy when, whatever, right? And so you might answer that as I'll be happy when my music is making an impact on the world and my message is, is making a difference for people that it resonates with or whatever, right? And out of that, you're going to struggle to get there to make that happen. And so, I actually think like finding happiness in the struggle is sometimes more achievable than this sort of like just this sense of peace that we're expecting to like descend upon us.
We're on the same page.
Beautiful.
That's the realization.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
We're on the exact same page. Well, I mean, hey, does it get more profound than that?
Whoa.
We could talk about like what inspired me to write music. We can talk about that, but like really, the end point is like the purpose of being alive. So yeah, it's like no, there's no end point or happiness like unicorns and rainbows. It's like, how do you just like find this moment right here? Because here we are, to be like enough.
It's back to Bikram.
Back to Bikram.
Right? It's like you're meant to find, you put yourself into uncomfortable positions in order that you can be peaceful in uncomfortable positions.
I guess so.
That's the way I learned to do yoga.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the point is to be comfortable outside of your comfort zone.
Right. Which is a metaphor for life.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, right?
We're fucking deep on Rebel Radio.
It's getting
man.
deep.
I gotta tell you.
I can't
Okay, I have
help it.
questions for you.
Okay.
We do this like lightning round thing, except for it's not really that fast.
Okay.
So we call it a lightning round
Slow
anyway.
lightning.
Maybe there's a better name for it.
What's slow
James.
lightning?
Slow-
Molasses.
Welcome to the molasses round.
Okay.
What are you most excited about in your life right now?
Not to be like, I'm plugging it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
plug that shit.
Well, the answer is true. I am really excited about this release that's coming up. No, I am.
What's the
because
EP called?
The EP is called Release. I say it like that because there's an exclamation mark at the end.
Yeah, people love it when
Exclamation
you
mark.
yell.
Release. Release. Like, get it out. So that's what the EP's called. Release.
Okay.
And the name of the single is It's Over.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the single because, like I said, it's, I think it's the most accessible thing I've done. Accessible. And so I'm excited to see what it does for me, for my career. I'm really excited about that. And a little bit nervous, but mostly, yeah, I think that's what I'm most excited about. And it's really
Nice.
soon, too. It's like in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I feel the anticipation.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tell me one decision that changed your life forever.
Moving to California. Yeah. Moving to,
Was that a hard choice?
no,
Okay.
it was a choice. I was, in my like mid 20s, and I was just, I just knew it. I always knew I wanted to leave Toronto, mostly because of the weather. It's horrible. But I
don't blame you.
Yeah, I knew it.
I would leave everywhere and come to California. for the weather.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stoked. I was just like, yeah, that was an easy thing. It was an easy decision to make, and then it was like, and then it caught up with me. But that was the best thing that I ever chose for my life.
Yeah. Okay, complete this sentence.
Cat.
Oh, that's good. Okay, next question.
No, I want to know.
Complete this sentence.
Okay.
I don't have talent. I have blank.
Passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
What talent or skill have you always wished you had more of?
I wish I was a better instrumentalist.
What
Yeah.
instruments would you like to be
Ooh,
better at?
piano.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I was a really good pianist, that'd just be off the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be really good at that.
What other career would you want if you knew you couldn't fail?
Outside of music?
Yeah.
Do you see my mind go,
Nothing
what?
to do with me.
Oh, if I could be good at it, whoa, probably a politician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Whoa, can't believe I just said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Like a senator or some shit? Like, what would
Probably
you
the
do?
president.
President.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fuck yeah.
the animals.
I don't know. That seems like a shit job.
That's
I mean,
it's terrible. I don't know why I just said that, but I guess, trying
Hey.
to change things like that.
it's all up to you.
I was good at it.
So if I worked for you, I was on your team or whatever, what's something I would hear you say over and over?
Have you heard me say something over and over?
Well, you like to find out the people around you, like to know like what they're passionate about. You ask me that a lot.
Oh, that's nice of me.
Yeah.
See, we do.
You like to
That's funny.
know like how they're like you also like to know how their days go, like, you know, just kind of the little
Aw.
things.
I'm caring
You
and
always
thoughtful.
like check in, you know.
That's
You're checking
nice.
Look at you.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't remember the question, but that's nice.
Doesn't matter. It was a good answer.
What does your team hear you say the
But,
most?
yeah, well,
Checking
yeah,
in
and we
with
usually
them?
don't want the real answer. We just want what you think it is. But
I'm like,
it's
but
fine.
she's right here.
I'm like,
No, it's great.
And that was great for me. Thank you. A little self-reflection there.
Yeah, sure. I actually, if I ever go on a job interview, I'm gonna ask that question. I'm gonna ask, if I worked here, what would I hear you saying over and over?
That is a great question to ask.
Right?
And I think probably the real answer to that, because it'd probably be more my manager, who I do talk to several times a day, is something along the lines of like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, because her answer didn't sound very impatient.
Right. That's because, I don't see them
Sounds
every day.
incredibly patient.
And they're new
Oh,
for
I
me.
see.
We're not like in that,
Oh,
like,
I
I
see.
can say it all. Yeah, my manager.
So your manager would get a more impatient.
Yeah. I'm freaking out. I'm stressed out. Oh, God. Things
Yeah.
like that.
What freaks you out most? Like, what comes to mind as the thing that's going to freak you out?
Oh, well, like, you know, it costs a lot to do anything of,
To be you.
unfortunately. Yeah. Well, you know, on the scale, probably it's not that much, but like, it's like the income
Yeah.
versus the
Sure.
output is not always balanced for the degree of the things that I want to create.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, my mind's not simple. I'm like, and then we're going to cover a whole forest and recycle plastic in Guatemala. We did that. And then we'll take it all down. So
Nice.
it's just I have these big visions. And so, like, so I guess the fear is, like, that I won't be able to, that I'm going to run out of money, I guess, and, you know, not be, and I won't have anything to show for it.
So you, it seems like you put a lot into the live show. It's,
And that too,
it's
yeah.
cinematic, and
Mm-hmm.
why is that important? Like, because like, there's a lot of money goes into that, a lot of time, and,
Yeah,
and energy.
totally.
Some other artist may just go up on stage with a band or by herself or whatever.
Yeah, but did
Right.
you remember the show?
I don't even know who I'm talking about. I'm
See?
just making stuff up. No, so why is that what you want to do?
I think I'm here. I think part of my purpose is to inspire, you know, and I want people to come away changed. I want them to come away, like, remembering it. I want them to be like, holy shit, and talk to their friends, be like, dude, this chick was singing from a cage and she broke out of it and there was the 3D mapping, and I want to do things, if possible, that haven't been done quite like that before. I mean, everything's been done, but, like, you know, to
Sure.
try and find a new angle. And I mean, millions of people have gotten up on stage and played guitar before, and that's just not. I'm just not interested in doing that.
Is there someone whose live show do you think of when you kind of are doing what you're doing?
I mean, not okay.
Like, who sets
Oh.
the bar for you?
Oh, well, you know, you even hear these stories of what I'm saying, which is very inspiring to me. I had this, like, feeling and sensation and strive before I even heard interviews with people like Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
But then hearing interviews with people like her on that scale, I mean, she's like not, you know, I don't know if this is true, but she says that she doesn't make money on the tours because she puts so much money into it. And same thing as Kanye West.
Mhm.
These people, they put so much into it that they actually end up like not, you know, making money. So I
Is
find that
is that the goal?
Kanye West
To not make money on
no,
tour?
no, but they can afford to.
Yeah.
So sure, that's
of
my
course.
goal, to be at a point where I can afford to, like, do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And not worry about a huge, like, millions of dollar loss. Of course, that's my goal.
Sure.
Hell yeah. Kanye can be like, okay, now we're gonna do this huge thing, and sure, we're gonna lose money, but I don't care because I got millions more.
Right.
So yeah, I strive to be like that. Maybe a little smarter with my money though.
Hey. Who would you be most excited to learn as a fan of your work?
Well, gosh. I mean, if I heard that someone like Bjork was a fan, I'd be like, done my job. I could die in that moment
Nice.
and then be revived so I could keep doing it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
What's your favorite city to travel to?
Great question. For some reason, like cities that I've never been to just pop to mind. That's
Okay.
hilarious. It's like my future vision. Like I'd really like to go to Italy. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it there. But so far, favorite city. Cities aren't really the thing that, like, I think of all the places I've traveled, and it's really about actually nature. So I just thought about like places in like Sinai, like
I don't know what that is.
it's the border. It's Egypt actually.
Oh, wow.
Between Israel and Egypt there. It's really beautiful. Places in Australia, but I think more nature.
Oh, we say Sinai. Is that?
Sorry.
No, I'm not correcting you. I'm just.
Well, some
making-
people say, yeah, I guess maybe I was just hanging out with a bunch of Israelis. Sinai.
Sinai. Okay, I had no idea.
Sinai.
Yeah.
I mean, just beautiful, like,
Yeah.
interesting places.
What is it's desert? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the water, like
Yeah.
the Dead Sea. I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking of Israel right now. Anyway, it's just what
I've
popped
heard
in my mind.
Israel's beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
Never been.
It's gorgeous.
What's the last great book you read?
Ooh. I've been reading some self-help though.
Okay.
So, I mean, but
What's wrong with
Eckhart
that?
Tolle is killing it.
Yeah?
I mean, it's not, I can't say like, oh, I was reading this amazing novel. But he's so good.
Which one?
What is it called? Oh my God. You're killing me right now. Eckhart Tolle, The Art of Synchrodestiny or something
Oh,
like
shit.
that. It's about being in more of a place for, coincidences,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, which is really cool.
Well, don't feel bad. Our last week's guest also named Eckhart Tolle.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so much better. Always be yourself. See?
Right. What movie have you seen the most in your life?
Ooh. I actually don't really watch movies on repeat too much.
What about as a kid?
Okay, as a kid, yeah. Probably it was The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, which I feel proud to say that. That's a good movie to see on repeat.
Okay.
Yeah. And Groundhog Day. That's
See?
ironic. That's ironic.
It always, it never fails.
Yeah.
That's one of mine too. It's not the top, but it's up there.
Are you serious? Groundhog Day?
Oh yeah.
That's just too weird, though.
But like there's movies like that. See, I like to ask that question because if I asked you your favorite movie, like you'd have some like you'd either say, "Oh, no, there's so many I can't think of one,"
Yeah.
or you'd have some like well-considered answer that you think paints you in a certain light or whatever, subconsciously or not,
Right.
right? But the movie you've seen the most often ends up being something that maybe isn't great, but it's good enough. It's usually funny or like doesn't make you think super hard, and it's on all the time.
Right.
And Groundhog Day is one that just like the cable companies get it, and so they just put that on a few times a year, around that time every year, whatever that like Christmas time because
Right.
it's and you'll catch it like halfway through and you'll just watch for a
Right.
while.
I know this.
Yeah.
I know what happens.
So like I always find people that answer is it's not like you've sat down to watch the movie from front to back.
No.
It's
right.
just like you caught it and you just watch from wherever.
Have other people answered that question the same?
Groundhog Day? I don't think we've had that one. Definitely
Okay,
not
good.
Wizard of Oz. I don't think we've had Groundhog Day, but that genre, that
Okay.
like category of movies. Yeah, like I go like Planes, Trains, and Automobile. That's one for me.
Nice.
That like Home
Oh
Alone.
yeah, Home Alone, definitely.
Right, like it just is on.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, this is good enough. I'll give it an hour. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or you think you're just gonna watch a couple minutes of it and then you get.
Oh my God,
Stuck
now
on
I'm
the
thinking about
couch.
all the movies I saw as a
See?
kid. Not a lot. I didn't get to watch a lot of TV or movies though. The Wizard of Oz though, we had that one.
I didn't either, but I snuck it.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of TV. I just was not supposed to.
Right. My dad let me watch The Simpsons, which I think was for him. That's why
Mm.
he let me.
Yeah, we don't let my
This is a
son watch The
complicator.
Simpsons or Last night he asked my wife why can't he watch Family Guy.
Oh, well, I'd be like, sure you can. So let's watch together. It's a funny show.
I'm on the fence.
I mean, they're not gonna. It depends how old they are, but they're
He's
not
8.
just gonna know what's going on. But still,
He wouldn't get a lot of it.
but subconsciously, there's some like real dark humor that they might.
We let
pick
him
up
watch a
on.
lot that's kind of advanced for him,
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah.
fun for the family, right?
Absolutely. It's better than that crap that he watches.
Yeah,
Like the kid stuff.
I wouldn't know.
It's terrible.
I'm sorry.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't know. It's not worth knowing. Who's your favorite DJ?
Oh, that's cute. My first thought was my friend.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Who's that?
Believer is his name.
Believer.
Believer.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays, it's great. Yeah, I'm not going to be like, Skrillex, this like kills it. Because, it's like everybody knows Skrillex. But,
What about your favorite live show you've ever seen?
Well, favorite, gosh, that's a mind-boggling question. I'm such a perfectionist. I gotta get this right. I mean,
You will be graded, by the way.
yeah, right. Oh my God, that's what it brings back for me. Like nothing does it. Oh man, did you see like that most recent Bjork tour? It was a couple years
I've
ago.
not seen Bjork live. Maybe at Coachella.
Crazy.
But I haven't
I
seen
don't
her
know
live.
if Coachella. Oh wait, pause. Okay, yeah, Bjork, love you for life. But speaking of Coachella, whoa, that was actually the most life-changing show. Was at Coachella, Sia.
Yeah.
So I guess that was last year.
Yeah.
Damn, did you guys see that show?
Yeah.
My brain was
Sia's
just
awesome.
like, I mean, that's what I want. I mean, I'm on a tiny scale, but that's how I want people to feel when they walk away. Like, what just happened? And it's like, she just took it to the next level, integrating performance art, very dark performance art, onto that scale of a production when you're that famous.
Yeah.
I was just like, props, girl. Like that takes guts, I think. Just bringing it into the mainstream like that. It's fantastic. Yeah, she's just, her and her team are, I don't know, like, who comes up with these ideas? I'm sure she's behind a lot of it. I'd like to think she is. I just think they're incredibly innovative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most mind-blowing show.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay. EP's coming out.
Yeah.
Where's everyone going to find it?
They'll be able to find it everywhere.
Yeah.
Online.
Animal, no vowels.
ANML
Right.
dot us. US.
Us.
ANML dot us.
Very inclusive.
That's the point.
Or patriotic.
Oh, depending how you read it.
Yeah,
Damn it. Maybe you guys can help me. How do we say, because I haven't had to say the EP title too much yet.
Okay.
How do we say it? So it's spelled, it's all capital letters.
Yeah.
Release, exclamation mark.
Oh.
So how do you say an exclamation mark? Because to say, it's called release. Like, that doesn't say it. And I also don't want to yell because I don't want to scare people. Release!
I think you just yell.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the coming? Release!
Yes.
Really?
See, that's the part they're going to remember.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that didn't freak you out.
Even if it did.
Okay.
Even better if it did.
Okay, all right. So if I'm, like, for instance, if I'm, like, hanging out with Ellen, like, on her show.
Right.
Like, doing an interview.
Yeah.
And she did that. You don't think I'd be like,
Are you going to
Josh,
dance with
why did
Ellen?
you send me? I would do anything with Ellen. I would
Okay.
do anything with Ellen.
right.
I love her. Yes. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, get on that. You guys should just
She's the best.
go straight from here.
Yeah, we're next.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So release
Get up there.
is out on, I think, end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And social, where are you most active?
Where am I?
Somebody wants to
most-
follow you on social, like where's the place?
I mean, probably
Like
the
Friendster?
place.
Is that
Oh my God.
Flickr page? Is that
I
what's
feel
going on?
so old.
No, you don't even know what that is.
I mean, I've heard them.
Oh.
I'm so to be I'm.
Where would you
so
send people?
Probably they should go to Instagram because I
Okay.
need to get better at it.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a promise.
goals because right now I'm not so very good at it. So Animal Music, ANML Music, all vowels included.
With all the
in
vowels
music.
and
Yeah,
everything.
ANML
Okay.
Music is my handle on all of the social media.
Cool.
The Facebook and the Instagram, and Twitter.
Thank you for being here. This
Thanks
is
so
a lot
much
of
for
fun.
having me.
Come back.
Okay.
Come back and tell us how you made it such a huge success.
Perfect.
That'd be awesome.
I'm totally down with it. Woo!
Yo, that was Animal on Rebel Radio. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a comment, a review on iTunes. Hit us on Twitter, Facebook at Rebel Radio Net. and look at the YouTube channel for some video snippets of some of our favorite episodes. Most important, come back next week for more Rebel Radio. Peace.